Hello students, today I am continuing the fifth lesson, Traders to Rulers. In this lesson you have learned about British conquest of Bengal, conflict between company and the Nawabs of Bengal, Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar. Now in this topic I am going to teach you about the major consequences of the Battle of Buxar. After the Battle of Buxar, the Treaty of Allahabad was signed between the British Company, Sujauddaulah and the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. The English East India Company got the Diwani right, that is to collect tax without giving profit to the Nawab of Bengal and the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. They could collect revenue from Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. In return, the emperor would receive an annual tribute of 26 lakh rupee and two districts in Uttar Pradesh, Allahabad and Kara. The emperor could reside in the fort of Allahabad in the protection of British. The Nawab of Awadh had to pay rupees 50 lakh to the company to restore his kingdom and promised to help in case of attack on his territory. Now the dual government policy, which was started by Robert Clive in 1765. This was started because they wanted the permanent rule in Bengal. It lasted till 1772. According to this rule, the Nawab performed all the activities, responsibilities, but had no powers or resources. Means they had to depend upon the... So under this system, the Nawab performed all the responsibilities but had no powers or resources. The company had all the powers but no responsibilities. So the responsibilities was to be performed by the Nawab only, not the British. They had only control over the revenue. The Nizamat, military and criminal jurisdiction, was given to the Nawab. Means he had to also perform the administration duties. But in return of this, Nawab was given small share of the revenue to run the administration. So due to this, the people of Bengal suffered a lot. It became very worst when in 1770 a famine broke out and it wiped out nearly 1/3 of the population. Means 1/3 of the population died due to that famine. But then also the company or the Nawab had no aid for these people. So meanwhile the company officials earned great wealth. In 1772, Warren Hastings became the new Governor General of Bengal. During his tenure, the dual system governance ended and Bengal came under direct control of English East India Company. After conquering Bengal, the company gained immense wealth at its disposal. Many company officials came from a humble background Their main purpose was to earn more and more so that they could lead a secure life when they returned to Britain. When they returned to Britain, they were called as Nawabs because they were like Nawabs. They received a humble background, or they got a upstarts and social climbers in the English society. Now, some of the others Governor General also done some policies for the expansion of the British Company in India. Under this, Lord Wellesley was the Governor General of India during 1798 to 1805, extended the British rule in two ways. One was the subsidiary alliance and another was the outright wars. Subsidiary alliances. In this rule or policy, a ruler had to disband his army and he had to maintain British troops permanently. In case a ruler failed to make payments, a part of his territory was taken away as penalty. He also had to keep a British officer called the resident. He was to be stationed at the ruler's court, and the resident's main job was to give the information to the British company. A ruler had to expel all the other foreigners from his territory, and he had to consult the British before negotiating with other Indian states. Nizam of Hyderabad was the first to sign the subsidiary alliance in 1798. Then in 1801, Lord Wellesley forced the Nawab Awadh to accept the subsidiary alliance. Peshwa Bajirao too signed the subsidiary alliance at the Treaty of Bassein in 1802. Many Rajput chiefs also accepted British supremacy and signed treaties. Now the impact of subsidiary alliance. The Indian rulers who accepted this rule, they were not free or independent. They had to ask from the British company for any decision. To make matters worse, the financial drain was there and residents' demands also had to be fulfilled. Resident, I just taught you, the British officer who was stationed at the ruler's court was the resident. But it was advantageous for the British company as they could maintain a large army at the cost of the ruler. The military and foreign affairs of alliance partners came under their direct control. So they used the military of the Nawab and the other rulers for their own purpose. Finally, territories of Indian rulers could be annexed at any point of time. This led to the development of a new power bloc in the policies of India. The British became the supreme political power in India. Now the second policy period of rapid expansion, 1805 to 1848. Under this, the policy of paramountcy was made by Lord Hastings when he was the Governor General from 1813 to 1823. This policy was also like subsidiary alliance. In this policy also, the Governor General Hastings made the policy that the company could take the kingdom at any time. The policy explicitly expressed the expansionist intention of the British. But in south, Rani Chennamma of Kittur, who took to arms when the British tried to annex her state, showed the non-acceptance of the policy. In Afghanistan and Sindh, the British started interfering in their affairs. Russia might expand across Asia and attack India via Afghanistan. They thought that Russia might expand across Asia and attack India via Afghanistan. This insecurity resulted in the First Anglo-Afghan War between 1839 and 1842. So the British were not able to control directly over Afghanistan due to their strong resistance. However, they annexed Sindh in 1843. Now Punjab. At this time, Punjab was ruled by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. He was very powerful ruler. He freed Punjab from the clutches of the British Company through his diplomacy and maintained a strong army on European lines. But after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh in 1839, there was chaos and the British began interfering in the affairs of Punjab. Maharaja Ranjit Singh's wife, she wanted to capture the western part of the Satluj river. This led to two Anglo-Sikh wars between 1845 to 1849, in which the Sikhs were defeated. The British under Lord Dalhousie annexed Punjab in 1849. After this, Lower Burma was captured by British in 1852. They established their control over coastal Myanmar and the eastern coast of Bay of Bengal. Now I am concluding this topic of today, and I will continue the lesson with the topic British expansion under Lord Dalhousie and the opponents of the British rule, that is Mysore, Marathas, and also the four Anglo-Mysore War between the Hyder Ali and the British government, and after that Tipu Sultan and the British government. So thank you for today and watch the next video.